to just, move the culture forward. So I stayed with Carifuna for 16 years.
Wow.
And then after that, I met my husband, Gerald Langley, Mabrika,
Famous
which is the
elder,
shaman.
an elder.
Elder. And then we formed, and then from that. So after I left Carifuna, I formed the Carina Cultural Group. And then we start doing a lot of, research and training and learning new songs, the Kalinago songs, and, creating my own songs. I love singing. As I told you that, as I said, my father, his Stouts family are very musical people. They love music.
Yeah.
So I started to write songs, Creole songs, and create dances, Kalinago dances. So we did a number of training, workshops and whatever. And I always remember Dr. Olin Bully, who would organize, workshops. I remember the first, when Olin Bully came, trained us for Carry Festa in 2001. We had to represent Dominica. We had to our delegation. And he stayed months at Mr. Clem's, the former chief, Clem Frederick in Salibian. So he stayed about 6 months training us and preparing us for Carry Festa in Trinidad, in Barbados. So Barbados, Carry Festa, that was my first trip. I was about just 15, 16 years, very young. And then I continue, study the group in Carifuna. And then, as I said, when I met my husband, we formed Carina Cultural Group, and then we continue doing the work. And then my objective, my vision was to not sing Carifuna alone group, but I wanted to have another group, and then to see that Carina, that the culture expand. So out of Carifuna, Carina, and then out of Carifuna, Carina was born the Kalinago dancers. Because I always wanted to see that our dances, our song, emerge and get the consciousness and to let our people, continue the tradition. Because our ancestors was very powerful, they were very great dancers, they were great songs, they were great fishermen, they were great farmers, So that is who I am, and then I continue with the my work. And then I got the opportunity, my group, we went to Trinidad for Carry Festa twice. In 2000, my group, we represented Dominica in Carry Festa in St. Kitts. And then I went to in Suriname, to attend Carry Festa also. And then just recently, just before the COVID, we went to Trinidad, and then we went to Dubai. It was very, very good, a great experience for me. So throughout the years, I have done a lot of, training, workshops. I've, teach or Kalinago children. I've been in the schools, teach universities, and also do a lot of things. I also am a costume designer. I create costumes, made costumes for Miss Kalinago, which I am the coordinator for the Miss Kalinago pageant for the past 17 years. So I've trained our Kalinago young ladies, and some of them has participated in National Queen Show, and they have won, like this year, former Carnival Queen, and a lot of queen like Nadira and Tassia, and so I have done a lot of work, and I was able to do, and I was able to, the National Cultural Council was able to award me the Golden Drummer Awards.
Excellent. Yes.
And then I have received many awards, like the American Heritage Legend Award in Trinidad, and we received also special award from the Queen of England on the Commonwealth Youth Award, where we have won that. And then we also win we was able to the E.O. Leblanc award.
Award also,
Yes,
okay.
so I have many awards for my contribution.
Okay, Teddy, let's go to you now and tell us a little about yourself, your career, and your work in the Kalinago territory space.
Yes, well, I am Teddy Thomas, and
Nous n'avons pas parler, frère. Nous c'est Kalinago, frère. Nous
yes,
boivent, man. Nous n'avons pas parler.
I am
Kose,
Teddy,
kose.
Ouais.
Teddy Thomas,
Après ça, on va parler.
true-born Kalinago,
Après
and it's
ça,
in
on
the
va parler.
territory, and it have been a long while. I have been working within the territory, and so far, I would recall, my first out is, getting the Kalinago youth to form a Kalinago football team, which involved the entire youth within the territory, which I appreciate. I work like to get the youth involved in sports, which will help them to get themselves at a better level. Also, I keep on working with the people of the territory, like hosting the costume band, the carnival band, which which the carnival committee always look forward every year, which the Kalinago people really appreciate, and also the Dominican people also, and the diaspora. I've been working hard towards that, and presently I keep on negotiating and saying we need to get the territory much more better than that. I keep on talking to my friends, and then hopefully I try once to be a council, which I seen I can put some great effort to develop certain items in the territory. I failed. I went the second time as a council. I still failed.
Wow.
Then I went the third time, and I said, then this time I am going forward to victory, whereas I have intention to move the territory forward. And hopefully that I won as a councillor, and presently I am the one land and survey and environment, which I am performing some good works on my duty as a councillor for the land, which in the territory we know that the land is communal land, and so far we have a lot of land disputes within the territory, which under my portfolio we do settle that very good.
Okay.
Where contrary to before, when we're going out, we usually have a police with us, to make sure that things. But seeing that in entering the council, I take this opportunity, and before we start, we say we all are Kalinago people, and it is not looking nice, in the eyes of the rest, to see that we are fighting here, we are grudging here just because of a piece of land just for 2 feet, So then we console the people that we are one people, and then we have to unite together, solve the problem to get the business solved, which I appreciate that the people do participate and listen to what I am doing, and also.
Okay. Right, so let's move across to the festival. As a matter of fact, you are now going to actually give us the whole history behind the Kalinago people and manioc. What really is manioc? And give us the relationship, and any one of you can start on this one, and you can come in at any time. We're going to have a nice little conversation. Just we're going to be reasoning, educating our Dominican people, the rest of the multitudes listen to us globally, about the Kalinago culture, in particular that major festival coming up, the Manioc Festival. But first, the relationship between Manioc and the Kalinago people.
Well, if I can butt in on that, because that I see as that's my role today, really, to give the wider perspective. But just before I say that, I need to say that Miriam and I are actual cousins. We say cousin.
Cousin, okay.
Because I remember when I was young, that all Kalinago people used to refer to each other as cousin. Okay. No cousin. Tout le monde say cousin. Whether we are not actually like blood cousins or not, but tout le monde say cousin. Sometimes you hear people sing "Fouet," sound of "Fouet," and right now everybody, "Hey, what's up, my brother?" You know what I'm saying? So that kind of greeting stuff was prevalent since I knew myself about Kalinago and the idea of brotherhood and sisterhood and that kind of thing. Now back to the topic at hand, if I can give sort of the historical background to cassava and manioc. Of course, it goes by, well, first let me tell you, it's a root, a tuber that grows in tropical conditions, and it really had its origins in Central and South America, several thousands of years ago. And eventually the native people of the region, you might say, domesticated the plant. By trial and error, obviously, they found out, which is like, that's humankind, trial and error, and discovered ways to prepare the product, the cassava. And then it is a special kind of tuber that is known by several names, cassava, yucca, tapioca, and things like that. So it has, that's where the cassava name originated, the cassava. As part of that,
but the Kalinago,
it is a tropical, it grows in subtropical, tropical conditions, so that's why it was able to spread to all these other countries as well. But originally it came from Central and South America, that plant. So that is sort of historical. And then the idea of processing the cassava, you have to have, so that's why you have to grate it,
Squeeze it.
and squeeze it, and take out the letla and the liquid in it, because the liquid has the cassava. Now the bitter cassava, that is the one that has the high cassava. It has minimal amount. That's why some people generally they cook it, and it is like how we eat dashing and danny and all of that story.
Roast it.
All of that, that
but Greg's, for generations, I mean, from
problem. We are suffering a lot of health problem like hypertension, diabetes, cancer, and and I say something, and I was discussing with my husband and my members and people in the territory. Why should we be suffering with so much hypertension? Diseases of the body. When our ancestors, they used to live 100 years old, 100 and thing. Actually, even during the COVID, one of our elder died. She was 108. That's Mawili, and she lived. She ate cassava, and that is what that kept her so strong. So I always say, something. We have to do something about it, and educate the people, get the young people to appreciate cassava, and then cassava has its all indigenous people celebrate World Indigenous Day.
And that's August 8th.
That is on the 9th.
On the 9th.
9th of August.
9th of August. Okay.
Yes. And then looking at when we were going through the theme, the World Indigenous theme on the United Nations, the theme was Indigenous People's Right to Self-Determination, a pathway for food, security and sovereignty. So I say I was just direct in line because there they were, the film was talking about food security and sovereignty. Yeah. So cassava is one of was very important to that.
What are some of the activities leading around
Well, we have,
festival itself?
yes, well, on the 9th of August, the president of Dominica, our very own, Sylvanie Burton, and so we will welcome her.
Her Excellency.
Her Excellency,
Yes, we have to give her a title.
Her Excellency.
Yeah.
So we will welcome her and her husband and other guests, and also we will have the national anthem.
Yeah.
And we will also have our Kalinago prayer. Our Kalinago prayer. We have a special Kalinago prayer, and then
do you know it?
Yes.
Can you recite it for us?
It's in Creole.
It's in Creole.
Yes. Okay. It goes like this. Guard esprit papa nous c'est pas president of the Carifuna Cultural
So it's recently.
Group. That was in the 80s
in
when
the 80s,
Carifuna Cultural
1980s.
Group started. Yes,
Okay.
1978,
And then
79.
the council adopted it.
Yes.
as an
So
official-
over the years, so we put verses to it, verses until we was able to learn it, and so I remember when Chief Hilary Frederick, this is when they had organized the first Carib Day. Carib Day, that at that time it was Carib Day, not Kalinago Day, like now. So we sang it at the Carib Day in the Salivia School, and then after that, then we started to sing it, in activities, in ceremonies, in official ceremonies, in all cultural activities.
Are the children in the various schools in the Kalinago territory taught this particular prayer?
Well,
song?
yes. A couple years ago, we taught them to sing the song, So some of them, they learn it, but that is something, again, we have to do. We have to go back to the school again, because, we have a young generation now. And then so
it's difficult to get them
yes,
to...
and so we have to teach it to them again.
Okay.
Actually, I started a program with Chief. We are started to start a program where we're teaching the children in the Kalinago schools the dances, the songs, the language, and I will continue in September, going to the schools, the various schools in the territory, to teach the traditional song music.
Okay, Greg's, we're going to just take a little pause from the activities. We'll come back to the activities. But Greg's, I want to pick your brain a little. Kalinago have its own language.
Yes.
And we always see or hearing of the prevalence of the Creole language, which came in after the Kalinago's language.
So you had a sort of because of the way they move off from the continent, the continent, right, to come across the islands and so on. You find many times it was more the men who would do all that initial rigors thing. So you usually find out that the Kalinago men got married or began having children with the women now who were of Arawak descent. So what you start happening from a linguistic point of view is that the women sort of language, you might say, and then the men now who were, more of recent vintage from the continent, spoke what we would consider as the Kalinago language. And then the historical records also indicate that the men also had another sub kind of language, which was a kind of a code. And that code was a kind of a code. And that code was, according to the historians, they say that code was now a special code for large hair or for that kind of thing. So when you look at that, when you unpack that thing, you find that the language situation in the Eastern Caribbean and the Greater Antilles was quite sophisticated. So in terms of the Kalinago language now, and then you had people of more recently like Douglas Taylor and the priest Father. So the Creole language now became a language of communication across the folks of European who came here eventually, the Kalinago people who were established here, and the people of African descent as well. So the Creole language, what you know as Creole, became a sort of a common language of communication
within the Europeans.
So that's what happened there.
The blacks,
yes,
and
that's
the
what happened.
Kalinagos. Yeah.
That's what happened. So you find when I was growing up as a young boy, that's what tout moun Kalinago apparaît quoi pays quoi.
They can parler Creole.
They can parler Creole. Bon Creole. You know, P. That's ça parler Creole donc tout le monde can parler du grand B, monde can parler de l'autre côté. Mais Paris, Grenada, the most, that is where you find you also will get and further afield, you will get what you might call pockets. Again, I'd like to use this word, but descendants, people that can trace. You know, people like Patrick Settilwa in Cassava would trace his Kalinago roots, and the whole idea of Cassava, reaching into the history and to the music and all of that. So it's a whole.
I wanted to bring that. I wanted to bring that as a perspective of how strong the language, the Creole language, is. And for some reason, even at another discussion, we continue to take it for granted. When there is so much history and so much relevance to that language.
Kalinago ceremony name for my birthday when I was 50 years old.
50. Okay, great.
So I had my Kalinago name ceremony held at Iwasi Retreat Center. So my Kalinago name is Ulika Kaba Kaba, which means butterfly.
Butterfly.
Beautiful butterfly.
Okay, so
Ulika
the
Kaba
present Carib chief, the first female Carib chief, will be given a Carib name.
Her Kalinago name.
Kalinago name, sorry,
Clark,
Kalinago
and
name.
then the counselors. Yes.
All the counselors, right?
Yes, each counselor.
Okay,
yes.
and what else on that day?
And then, we have 11, 15, 12 here. We have speeches by officials.
As government
by,
officials?
Yes, by our parliament representative,
Okay.
Mr. Frederick.
Kozia.
Frederick, yes. And then we have speeches by former chiefs.
Okay.
And then also we will have 2 3-minute speech by our indigenous brothers who will be visiting us from St. Vincent. They will be giving some speech, and actually we have a Kalinago shaman already from St. Lucia. He will give his speech as well, and then
The Kalinago Queen also.
and then we have the Kalinago Queen, and we'll give her speech, and and following that.
Okay, let's take a pause. We'll go to following that. I also wanted to ask you again for historical purposes. Seeing that a lot of the Kalinagos prior to coming here, some were sent to Dominica, some were sent to St. Vincent in particular. Are you guys related by any chance? I mean, have you traced your roots, if any relation with St. Vincent, those indigenous siblings St. Vincent? Is there a special relation, Gregs?
Well, I will leave that to Miranda. But over the years, right, there have been many exchanges between Dominica and St. Vincent.
No, but can you relate all you, I mean, I don't know, birth, in terms of birth relation? Seeing that, okay, there were, for instance, there were some Kalinagos from, let's say, St. Kitts, which means there were several families. Some went to Dominica, some went to St. Vincent, which means the family split up. Some went to one and some went to the other. Same like Guadeloupe, I know, in Asberton, they sent half to Dominica, half to St. Vincent also. So which means you have family. If you trace your family roots, you may have family in St. Vincent. That's the question I wanted to ask.
Well, you can take that for granted in that sense, because what happened, that is why at the beginning when I was giving the overall background, and I said, tout quoi take a key.
Famille, cousin. Ouais.
Tout quoi say famille,
Yes,
brothers,
cousin.
sisters, that kind of thing. So it was
Right.
and that is the whole idea, the concept of the group, across the islands.
Historical purposes again, Gregs. The Kalinago were there first, and they assisted some of the Maroons to escape, or the enslaved to escape to become Maroons.
Yeah.
And then later, some of them Negroes now crossed with the Kalinagos.
Well, even more so in St. Vincent, but in Dominican places like St. Vincent, the Kalinago taught the African people who escaped from the plantations survival skills, and that's very important. And part of those survival skills are the same cassava production and the trails, because the Kalinago they knew all the trails in Dominica.
Yeah, but then the Negroes would not have known how to survive in the jungles of Dominica.
Yeah.
That's
no
what I'm
roads,
telling
just
you.
tracks.
Yes, but in St. Vincent you had a special situation where a boat, a slave boat, was shipwrecked off the coast of St. Vincent. And normally in those things you have about 2 or 3, 4, 5, that's a few white fellas and a whole boatload of black people, Africans. So basically they swam ashore, and then the Kalinago of St. Vincent welcomed them like brothers, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And then they started having interbreeding, if I could use that word, but making things. So you find the mixing. So that is why they came up with the whole notion of Black Caribs.
Were there any mixing? Yes, I know in St. Vincent they called somebody Kalinagos the Black Caribs. Were there any mixing in terms of the Europeans and the Kalinagos?
Yes. I mean,
Yes.
it's a natural
Because
thing.
this is
Because
not...
the Kalinago, what am I saying, the Warner.
Charles Warner.
Charles Warner from European...
Yeah. Charles Warner.
Charles
yeah.
Warner.
Sir Thomas Warner was the father to Indian Warner.
Okay,
Voila.
great.
And
Okay,
Indian
great.
Warner and Indian Warner mother, her name was Barbie.
Okay,
She was
so the
taken as
Europeans
slave,
and also
yes.
the Negroes also crossed with the Kalinagos. But like I
they're
said, that
French
listen,
mix,
this is why I believe we should really take the Kalinago people seriously. I mean, real seriously. Despite everything, you defied slavery. You defied the Europeans.
Oh,
I
yes.
mean, and you still the Kalinago people are still there.
Still.
Regardless,
Yes, because we talk
hurricanes,
about
hurricane after
resilience.
hurricane.
I was just,
Resilience.
you
know,
hit the nail on the
disease
spot.
after
With hurricane
disease.
season now, you know.
Right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying?
And the
Yeah.
Kalinago people knew
Yeah.
how to survive within hurricanes,
Oh,
after
yes.
hurricanes, after sickness after sickness.
Yes, and we survived
Because
the
I understood
COVID.
the French, sent all kind of sicknesses in
Yes,
Asbel town to
yeah.
kill the
Oh,
Kalinagos,
Yeah,
and the Kalinagos didn't
they
die.
didn't die.
So I mean, we must give a special big up to the Kalinago people. That's why I'm happy that we are here. Back to the Mayok Festival program now. We're doing it interchange and giving a little education at the same time.
Yeah. Okay, so we are moving on. 12:15, 12:45. We have the award. We'll be giving certificates for the Mayok farmers who have been planting Mayok for a couple of number of years. So we will be awarding them, the Mayok farmers in the territory, for keeping the tradition and as a form of appreciation.
How many farmers? Any idea?
We're thinking about the 6 to 7.
6 to 7.
persons,
But
yes.
are there many more farmers, or you are encouraging others?
Well, there are farmers, but they are not big farmers,
Farmers,
like
yeah.
some, that like those that are doing the Mayok here, because
What is done for the young people to encourage them to be part of farming cassava, for the legacy to continue?
Well, we are encouraging within the councillors. We are encouraging Councillor Teddy Thomas. That's his responsibility.
Teddy, Magadano boys, moi.
Ouais, mais moi, quand
Comme si
Tu
they were
veux
team
parler,
man.
donc.
Opposant boy, man. Opposant boy, okay, sorry.
Well, he can talk about the.
Yeah.
Okay, but then let's continue the program, and after
Okay,
I want to
then.
hear about Teddy and Teddy's part, man.
yes.
Yes. All right.
So we're coming down to the certificates. We're giving certificates to about 6 or 7 farmers.
6 or 7 farmers.
As,
Yes.
as incentives to motivate them to continue
Yes.
to produce.
And then the official then after this then we'll have the opening of the
Festival.
Mayok festival. Yeah.
What can people expect at the festival? What sort of delicacies?
Well,
Will you get a cassava beer on that day? A la bière?
definitely.
How will it
Definitely.
be? How will
We
it be?
could,
How will
yes.
it be? How will it be in a
Yes,
bottle?
Mr. Mabrika, Mr. the shaman, he's an expert in that.
So how will
Yes.
the beer be? A whole pot like an Englishman, or
Well, we have pot,
like in a
yes, we
bottle
have
like
calabash.
Calabash
You're
or
serving
calabash
calabash.
of beer. Wow.
You'll be
A
serving
calabash
calabash,
of
yes,
beer for how
yes,
many
yes,
dollars?
we could.
$10?
Well, I guess 10, whatever. So
Greg's, who déjà boire ça la Greg's Kalinago cassava la bière.
Yes.
La vieille, I have sampled that
Many times.
all the
Many
time.
times.
I can buy week what tout le temps.
Okay. So the name is there any specific.
Yes.
But why isn't that, done more frequently and possibly produced and, the Kalinago people, this is a business. I'm thinking
Yes.
business-wise now.
Well, that is why.
Kalinago people can have this beer. It's locally brewed and whatever, and have it for, locally consumption first. People can get it in the supermarkets. And who knows?
Yes.
Who knows how far this could reach? So that's the wiku.
Yeah. With the wiku, yes.
Okay, so
well,
what are the delicacies that
okay,
we will be able to get?
we have pepper pot. We have pepper pot.
Sakisa.
Pepper pot. You boil the cassava water, and then when you remove the toxin from it, then you add your little seasoning, green seasoning.
Like a water, then like a
Yes.
goat water, use a cassava
Right,
water.
just like when you're making good
I mean, so the
yes.
more salmon, I'm
So,
walking upon now.
so yes, so we put
All that again is in calabash.
in calabash,
That's
serving
somewhere,
calabash.
sir.
So you'll have
Do
yes.
you bring your own calabash, or the calabash is disposable? Which
Well,
one?
you can bring your calabash, or if
Or you can buy one.
you can buy one. Yes.
That's a lot of about calabash.
So yes, so
So then what else? Okay, so we're talking about the water.
the water. We have
Then
the
we have
tonton.
The tonton.
Yes, the tonton.
Tonton is what?
Especially the sweet cassava, will be pong it in tonton.
Uh-huh.
So if you want your cassava mayok tonton, you can get that with roast fish or smoked chicken, local chicken or smoked fish, and also you have tumale sauce. You'll be getting
Tumale
sauce.
sauce. That's what.
Yes, tumale sauce is.
Explain to us what's that.
Yes, with tumale sauce is a mixture of green seasoning with ruku, mixed with ruku, and then smoked fish.
And that is strictly Kalinago we're talking about.
Kalinago food.
Cannot find that anywhere else.
Cannot find it in nowhere else in Dominica. That's why you have to come to the Mayok Festival.
And then what about the bread? Is cassava bread?
Yes,
cassava bread.
And then you'll get your cassava bread also. And the cassava bread will be baking right on site.
On site.
On site, yes. And then you'll be getting your cassava cake.
Cassava cake.
Yes,
okay.
the dukuna.
That's the dukuna.
Yeah, dukuna.
Is that a Kalinago name also or normal?
Yes. It's a cassava cake. They mix it up. We mix it up with sugar or ginger.
Okay.
Yeah, and we wrap it up with banana leaves, and then we put it in the pot, and then we cook for about 10-15 minutes.
Okay.
So, and then we also have, and of course, the cassava girls in Sensi.
Cassava girls.
Yeah, the cassava girls.
We will deal with the girls in a while. Let us deal with more. I like the girls part, but let's deal with the rest of the products.
Yes.
Because there's a guy. He's normally around the old market and sometimes by Whitchurch.
Okay.
Having something like a burger. It appears to be something like a burger.
Okay.
Where he has like a Bix. It's like a Bix, and then he stuffs it up with all sort of different meats or codfish or whatever, like stuffed Bix, but then cassava.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how he calls it, but then it seems to be very popular.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have cassava beer. Any cassava wine?
Yes, it's the same cassava wine. Yeah.
It's the same thing?
Yes.
One stronger than the other?
Yes, yes. But it's
so
the same.
The process to brew it would be different?
Yeah. We also will be having cassava cake. Not cake, but the ice cream.
Cassava
ice cream. Yes, cassava ice cream. Mm-hmm. So you'll be getting your cassava ice cream, and then the cassava chips.
Cassava chips.
Cassava chips.
Okay.
Yes.
Now all that is made in the Kalinago territory as we speak.
Yes.
Can one just go up in the territory and get this?
Right.
Or you'll be making it especially for that day?
Yes.
Because what we're trying to do now is to make sure that anyone deciding to go to the Kalinago territory can get an ice cream, can get a chips, can get a... Is there a place or places where you can get that? I know you can get the cassava bread.
Yes.
Which is very popular.
Yeah.
But can we get the other thing like the labia I want to taste?
Yes. Well, you can only get the labia at Carina Cultural Village with the shaman.
Labia.
Well, see when I say you get will be share. Yeah, you get will be share. Yeah.
But I think this is excellent stuff, and I really hope that every single one is gearing up for this particular festival. So from so you'll be showcasing all the delicacies on that day.
Yes.
You'll be able to get all these items and products, and even get some to go home also. You will imagine.
Exactly.
At a reasonable price. So quite a bit of economic viability that particular day in the Kalinago territory. And you're climaxing that with what?
And we're climbing that in so the activity will
go until what time?
Continue till about 6:30 p.m. And then we have the night activity, which is the cultural night. Cultural night.
Okay.
And then we'll have local artists.
Okay.
For example, Francine Laurent. She's a very good singer. She has a very sweet voice.
Okay.
And then we have we have Carina Cultural Group, which is my group. And then another interesting cultural group, that the Garifuna dance group from St. Vincent.
Will be coming.
They will be, yes. They will be
great.
part of the
Excellent.
delegation. They will do a cultural presentation as well, and other local artists. And then after, by 9:15, then the cultural presentation will end, and then we will have and before that, just before the end, we have the walking of our Kalinago Queen reading competition winner. That's Kiara John.
So that's yes. So the
DBS. Yes. So she will
Ministry of Education.
Yes. So she will
the reading competition champion.
Yes.
Is
So
Kalinago, and she'll be doing a special
Queen reading.
So she's the reading queen.
Yes.
So she'll be making. Oh, that's good.
Yes,
She'll make with a presentation.
So she will do her presentation.
Excellent.
And then the Miss Kalinago, of course.
I didn't hear you speak about sports, because we know the Kalinago territory is also very good in cricket and also basketball. Any sports taking place on that day?
No.
It's just
No, well, actually
friendly
KPL,
little thing, nothing
yes,
like a friendly
actually
thing,
KPL will be having their game at the Jolly Johns Memorial Park.
So, but then I did a little research, right, on the cassava, and they were saying that cassava can prevent cardiovascular diseases.
Right.
It can also improve energy and your mood. It can also help in managing diabetes.
Right.
Promoting skin, nail, and hair health. Also improve digestion.
Right.
Strengthening the immune system. And also it aids in weight loss. And it prevents, that was the one that was really critical, prevents several types of cancer. This was very critical, and I really believe that more should be done. If you have a planting Dominica that could help prevent cancer, I think we should have a major campaign, man, for people to eat that, on a daily basis. And then because of the high vitamin C, it also have flavonoids and carotenoids and vitamin C, which are components with antioxidant action. And I think this is excellent. Also, they are saying it also assists to prevent intestinal, stomach, and breast cancer. Man, this is fantastic, man. This is fantastic. I really believe that you should really go on a major campaign with this cassava product, and make every single person in Dominica, and who knows, Greg's I thinking big with this thing, We should be the cassava headquarters in the world.
I know,
Caribbean, in the world.
Yeah, actually,
is there cassava? Is there any cassava production taking place?
Yes, before we end, because remember you have to intervene with him on some matters.
Time, Greg.
Oh, we do.
I vote to give us a little extra time.
Even I looking at the cassava in the condition that I am seeing it is today, and what I'm hearing, it shows me that the economy of the Kalinago people would based on the cassava.
But that's what I'm talking about, my brother.
Due to the cassava, I would recall like in the time of before, like the ancient people, as you just said, they would not have gotten any sicknesses.
No, but this is the reason why they would live 100 years. With all this, with a high consumption of cassava, you're preventing lots of diseases. Your immune system will be...
So I believe, we would have to look at it and try to uplift it as an economy.
But of course, man, and that is what we're talking about.
The economy of let's say, like, the Kalinago.
Is there any business presently in the Kalinago territory where they actually produce various types of delicacies with cassava?
Yes, that is where the young girls from Sensi.
Okay, let's talk about the young girls now. Let's talk about the young girls now.
They produce a variety of products.
Well, tell us about those young girls from Sensi now. We're ready for them now.
Ready for
the cassava girls, you're calling them.
Yeah, okay. If I may kick off on that quickly, I recall myself visiting Guadeloupe on several occasions. And in Guadeloupe, they were doing something. They had a mobile platin. And they were going to where they have action, in Guada, right? And on this mobile platin, these guys were doing the cassava C plus, you can go on, right? Wadix,
Yeah.
the expression C plus, and the people were so they had this mobile plating going around in the action areas and doing anything right there and then. So I suggested that to the young ladies. Well, at the time they were pretty young, but why not try that out? And the rest is history. So they took it and took the bull by the horns, as they say, and they have developed an enterprise. They have moved from very humble beginnings, you might say, and right now they have a variety of products. They have a presence in the market in Roseau, and then they still have the factory in the territory as well. And remember their grandfather, who was Mr. Son. Remember Mr. Son? He was the iconic figure. He was producing that and come down Roseau and selling the thing. So his grandchildren, they are his grandchildren. They really kept up the tradition. And it's unique in the sense that they were young people, relatively young Kalinago people, keeping up the tradition. Because many young Kalinago, they either go in college, university, or all kind of thing. And they probably do not want to get their hands dirty in that sense. So they developed this business around it. So that was very, very, very important. But you also had other individuals selling stuff in the Kalinago territory as well, like our partner, what's his name again?
Masterlin.
You had Masterlin, and then you have
DFC also.
Exactly.
DFC,
So you have that versioning, but the women who have built up that project and have a presence in the market and develop a whole thing of different types of products, both for the diabetics, not unsweetened, very, very, very important.
I believe the majority of Dominicans do not know about the properties. I mean, in particular, the health properties of cassava. And I believe now is an opportune time to really, delve into that as a major project.
And Sister Nats
Sister
has done quite a bit of work as well.
Yes.
With the young women there in the cassava factory.
Yes.
But she has, she's a nutritionist too. I mean, she has studied a lot of nutrition matters of relating to nutrition and so she is also a very important resource person in Dominica.
Absolutely.
On that.
So what could have easily happened is, several seminars, teach the young people, because what you said earlier, you have to prepare it properly. There are toxins, there are, poisonous areas of the cassava. So you need several seminars to teach the young people, because you're looking for sustainability now. And then who knows, major factories, man. Let us have the thing in full operation. Cassava biscuit, cassava mastiff, cassava all kind of thing, man. Of course, that is how the thing's supposed to be. Okay, so we have been hearing much from Teddy.
Yes.
And by the way, our listeners, we have a few extra minutes thanks to the program director, Ivona John Baptist. And in case you're wondering, this is Creole Heartbeat, and we are with the Kalinago people, Kalinago elder, Bit and Mama Go Wash, Ashimela, with two cultural elders, Miranda Langley and Teddy Thomas. So Teddy Thomas, bring us up to speed now. Will you ever Teddy?
Yes, I did. And well, as I say, I'm here to support the Mayok.
The Mayok
Festival, which I strongly believe that seeing that right now the Mayok becomes a major product in the Kalinago territory and in Dominica, and then seeing that presently today that the Mayok is representing the indigenous people around the world. That's why we have an indigenous day around the world. So I believe to myself that the cassava, we should make it a cassava festival yearly, where it will I would say like to bring the economic to the Kalinago people, and also would invite the rest of the Kalinago people around the world to participate as the only World Kalinago cassava festival held in Dominican and Kalinago, which I
Absolutely.
believe it would be very important that we uplift it yearly, much more better and bigger, you know.
I mean, this is a very serious project, and
So,
just looking at it,
you know, that's what I.
this could be a
looking for, and-
major project, Teddy.
Yeah.
And I'm really looking forward to really this particular project, seeing this move to a different level. I think now is the opportune time
No, yeah.
to take advantage of a product homegrown
Grown, yeah.
and with a legacy, with a history of resilience.
Of it,
And now we can identify some of the reasons why the Kalinago lives so long, Greg. If you have a daily or a constant diet of a food that prevents cancer, helps with diabetes, and you know that is what we're suffering from now.
I think
All what we are suffering from now is our lack of cassava. You realize that, Greg?
Yes, because I remember growing up as a young man, I mean little boy, there were we didn't there was know anybody that was
cassava.
sick in territory, no?
nobody.
I don't know any like sense is sick, like whatever, had any issue, you know.
Nothing, because I could recall, you know, in the times, little boy going to school, I did not know about bread,
I know.
you know, and those times there from school, my lunchtime when I was home, or even in the morning time, you know, mommy would have boiled the cassava,
So where we lose that, where
You
we
know,
lost
boil-
that link.
boil the cassava with the cocoa, and
cocoa
grate
tea.
the coconut, you know, and then you would find the youth would be healthier,
Yes,
you know,
and-
that would help them focus much more better.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
but in the present today, you can see the traditional thing, which is very important, useful to the people presently right now, is dying out. So my intention is to encourage the entire Kalinago people to plant more cassava, and also the rest of Dominicans to plant more, where that will give us, the Kalinago chief and council, to go out to the rest of Dominicans to teach them, educate them, and also having the product which they can sell to the Kalinago people
And
to
to visit
to
the
create
tourists.
more, where it will become a beneficial to them also, you know, and not to us in Dominica, but to the rest of the world,
Okay.
to the rest of the Kalinago people, you know.
Absolutely. Greg's, I want us to sort of touch, because we are in the World Creole Music Festival season, and you will have been there from inception. And from inception, the Kalinagos played an integral part
Oh yes.
in the World Creole Music Festival. You were placed on center stage and you were showcased to the world. Greg's Miranda, let's bring the information across to the people how important that was in the early days. I'm not sure if it still goes on now, but if it is not, that should be revisited. Miranda and Greg's, let's talk about the Kalinago and the World Creole Music Festival now.
Yeah, they kick off on that.
Yeah. Well, yes. Well, the World Creole Festival is it's a milestone for Dominica economy and the territory. Because for the past couple of years that you'll find a lot of people in the territory, you know, has come to you know, to the Creole Festival to display their Kalinago craft, and also even the food, even the you know, Kalinago food. So so it's like, you know, it's like promoting the Kalinago traditional food and craft and whatever at the World Creole Festival, and also it's helped build the economy.
Have you performed, Miranda, at the festival?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did perform. My group performed a couple of years ago. Actually, when the first World Creole Festival, we performed at the World Creole Festival. At that time, it was This Is Eddie Toulon.
Yeah. That's why I recall in those days, Greg's.
Yes.
Because I recall
Yes.
the Kalinagos during those times was a staple as part of the showcasing of the festival. Because there are several components of the festival that were, you know, seen as very important to showcase to the world, and indigenous. And the Kalinago people, you know, it was felt during those days, the Kalinago people was a major highlight to be showcased out there. And the dances, and like you said earlier, Miranda, Alwyn Bully would have worked with you guys on your
Yes.
craft to at least tighten up all your steps and all your movements and that sort of thing. Gregs, you were there from the beginning also. You would wouldn't mind comment on those days?
Yes,
And,
as she said, you had what you call the headliners, right?
Yeah.
The big the so-called big actors, and then when they are changing from band to band, then they would have the sort of what you might call side acts
Side
or
act.
different acts. So that is where now the Kalinago or the Carifuna,
Kafuna, yeah,
whichever
Karina, yeah.
hybrid and combination over the years would have, and people like me, not just Dominica, but from the neighboring islands, you have a thing that would play right what they call the backup. So they have 2 hours every night of the festival, and that way now you can highlight people like Miranda, Washla, other individual artists, and
Local
even
artists.
artists from the neighboring islands as well, in that sense. So that way now you are broadening the horizons in that sense of talent, and you can use that as well to discover talent, to discover talent, and using the festival as a way to discover talent. Yes, of course, you want to maintain a very high standard as well, but that is where you find that we can invest in developing talent, training people in performing skills, how to perform on stage, and how to, because somebody is talking about
what is the musical landscape in the Kalinago territory? We know that you play the Lapo Kabwit and you do the traditional dances. But you used to have the IC band. Any upcoming bands, any musicians doing the thing? I know you watched your crew, the Serenal crew.
the IC band.
I used to love a band. I used to love a band. Shezobi. Man, let me tell you something.
Shenzobi was more into the carnivalesque vibe as well.
Well, sir, let me tell you something. You remember? I think it's the on the eve of independence, on the eve of Dominica's independence, myself, Ole, we went to the Kalinago territory, and we were supposed to be leaving the Kalinago territory to go down for Dominica's independence. And she has to behold us if a swing, if a swing in Atkinson, no, it was in Atkinson school, old school.
Okay.
Boy, tight,
Yes, sir.
real tight. And I'm talking about tight people dancing, cause she tight,
Yes.
But she what to share on me?
Yes, man.
Man, I never heard traditional music so tight. She has so big. I remember
And
that
then
band.
we had Banakayo, that is
Banakayo, yes.
from Atkinson.
But I don't
itself.
think all you was tight
And
like
then we
Shezo
have
B,
the same her father, Molin.
Yeah, Mrs. Molin. Yeah.
Mr. Molin.
So what has happened to that? What
Seminal
happened to these
band.
bands, Greg?
Sorry?
Musical bands, what has happened to that in the Kalinago territory? We
Well,
know of the
the-
dances, we know of the craft.
You have people like the current minister, and then you have
He used to
a
play with Ice
very
Band.
talented musician in Badaka, or Junior,
Junior.
right?
Yeah,
In-
Stout.
in Crayfish River,
Yeah,
right?
Tiwa Studio.
Sorry?
Tiwa
You're right.
recording
No,
So
but
there's a
what-
recording studio in the
Studio, yeah.
So,
territory
but
as
what
well.
music do you explore? What genres do you explore in the Kalinago territory? I'm interested in what are the products, musical products that comes from the Kalinago territory.
Well, that is where I think the guy with the studio, he told me that they released something.
Yes, I am part of it.
Yeah, they
I'm part
released.
of
But it's more traditional stuff or
Traditional,
bouillon or whatever.
Bouillon.
Kadas.
Yes. like a
kind of fusion, right?
Fusion.
Yes,
Fusion.
yes.
Yeah.
Fusion. Okay, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
So, but there is a recording studio facility
yeah,
That's
Tiwa
nice.
in the
That's
Kalinago
nice.
territory.
that's nice.
I'm doing some interesting stuff.
Yes.
You know, I mean, the Junior, who the guy we call Junior, he's an excellent keyboardist. He used to even
Keyboardist,
play
yes.
with some of the bands in Roseville as well.
Yes,
He's a
yes.
top rate. You have Paulinus, who is a top rate.
drummer.
He's a drummer, like drummer. He used to play. Remember the guy who came in from London? He was
Yes,
relative to.
Smash,
They had a
yes.
hard rock band, you know,
Hard rock.
a heavy
Yes,
metal band.
heavy metal.
You know what I'm saying? Smasher.
Frederick,
Yes,
yeah.
Right?
Russia,
So
yeah.
what has happened to all that talent, Greg?
Well, they
In
migrate.
terms of sustainability,
Well,
the
I
younger
mean,
people.
things have moved
What are
on.
the younger people involving in the Kalinago territory, Greg? How do they entertain themselves? Wait for a dance, a DJ come and play, that's all?
Well, they entertain themselves by waiting when you have a hi-fi is coming up. because the thing of the tradition of say like the local drumming, it is not
dying out in the Kalinago
right, it's not
territory.
highly in
Kalinago territory, but also in the Dominica education system as a whole.
Yes.
That is like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We have to put the education on a cultural and artistic foundation as one of the pillars of education, not only in Kalinago territory, but in Dominica.
and we need to start that off with the
Yes.
Long ago, it was the reverse, whereby Kalinagos was supposed to be, let's say, the heroes, or seen as the heroes. You all were seen, or the Kalinago people was seen as, let's say, like a second class citizen in the sense of people would malquite survive that kind of. You know, I remember growing up, you know, that's how they used to call the Kalinago people, you know. Mal kwaib sova you hai tuavai, them kind of, you know. There was a little stigma
Yeah. a little
growing
simple.
up, which I think is now broken. I believe
yes.
is now totally broken.
Oh yes.
You know, I mean, with education, people now know better, and you know, things different. Because I remember those days I talking about there were no lights, you know, no electricity, and everything was on generator, and most people would walk from one community to the other. What I think, what I'm driving at now is how do you take the level that you have reached now to move to another level and keeping your foundation, keeping the Kalinago as still one of the most important aspects of Dominica. Because I still, for our people, versus to the Africans. I mean, this is phenomenal. Just try to imagine the Kalinagos were there in Dominica, and with all the guns, Europeans could not, colonize them. They could not.
Yes, because what is happening there? What is happening there? Did they ever tell you meek will inherit the earth?
Yes.
In the Bible thing, the same thing like in Dominican situation. As a matter of fact, in my view, the Kalinago people are miles ahead of the non-Kalinago population in Dominica. That's why I came up with a song, the bake mess up your head, the bake mess up your head, you fool it up with kakakal bass, and you think you have a sevel.
Right.
So the thing is that is, so you find the non-Kalinago population in Dominica need to do some catching up. You know, we had the Black Power days, and you know how much the méprisé fellas in Black Power business, you know, and so on. So that is the same pattern of colonialism that they made us hate ourselves. So when they come up with that Malquipe survive business there, so people felt like, you know, they look down upon themselves. You don't have a pride in yourself and confidence, you know, that's the thing, that kind of thing. So.
But we have reason. I mean, we now have the president of the Commonwealth of Dominica is a Kalinago. I mean, this is
Exactly.
This is I mean, phenomenal.
Historic.
You know, but then the Kalinago people now need to take their space. I mean,
Definitely.
Greg's, you guys are let's say, on the other side of the fence in terms of age and energy. But then somewhere along the line, you need to have that link, that chain where the younger people the younger Kalinagos need to understand how important they are. And that's why the president's status should be something that they, the younger ones, should try to emulate.
That's right.
Because, I mean, to be at the highest office in the land and a Kalinago person is there, it cannot get better than that.
Exactly.
You know, so how then that is going to manifest into the young Kalinago so we can, that the Kalinagos can earn that respect, not only in Dominica, but we're talking any activity nationally, Kalinagos must be there.
Okay, well, that's why sometimes you don't have to reinvent the wheel, you know. That's why, for example, okay, we have the schools. We talk about the schools already. So you have a captive market or audience, the school system. Sports clubs, they're in different groups. So you just work with the existing groups. You don't have to create no more new groups, you know. You just work, right, with the people that you have been working in your sports groups and all of that. You work with the groups. Same thing we were talking about the carnival in Dominica. You work with the existing groups, so you don't really need to invent anything new. You just incorporate the activities of the sectors into that. So in terms of the Kalinago, since the focus here this morning is on the Kalinago. So we're looking at the music, we're looking at the dance, we're looking at the food, we're looking at the fashion. You
yes,
see? So then
fashion.
people will learn the different trades, so people can become seamstresses.
People who are in the territory and who are not in the territory who can contribute great effort within the territory to uplift it. You know, as Greg is a very good who can, you know, educate, encourage the Kalinago to take their stand. We need people as this. We, the council and chief, is not, but we have people who have the potential who can support
in
us.
every facet of society.
Yes,
They are
support us.
Kalinago leading. They are Kalinagos leading from doctor, well, from the president.
And
to
sports,
doctor,
you know, look at
from
what's happening,
sports.
man, in
And
cricket
pageantry.
But then my not beef, but then my concern is, does that translate to the importance of a people who have withstood so much? You know, I'm fascinated by how the Kalinago survived Category 5. So it never had Category 5 before. It's only now we have Category 5 with global warming. How Kalinagos withstood, I mean, with the houses they had, how they withstood hurricanes, how they knew, well, major storms coming.
I mean, back in the days, remember when the when the hurricane mashed up the huts,
Winners.
they used to put that up
Yeah, less
in
than
a few hours. But I can speak for myself, because let me tell you, I built well 2 houses, one in Atkins, one in Canefield, and guess what? I use gourmet, right? The same gourmet that say wooden prone there, which is it is. I use gourmet boss to build the 2 houses in the thing, and I treated the gourmets, right, to prevent woodans from attacking them. And I tell you, I stay and I watch the gourmet springing like that, you know, under the pressure of the hurricane. And galvanized didn't wash it. It couldn't wash the galvanized from the gourmet because the nails seized so hard inside that gourmet. It just tear up the galvanized. It couldn't wash the gourmet. Because, you know, so there are lessons to be learned. It can be used. The gourmet can be used. But you got to treat it.
Finally, guys, because we have to go in a while.
Yeah.
Is politics dividing the Kalinago territory? Let us be candid and honest about it.
Well, obviously, yes.
I mean,
Well, I will say yes, the politics is one of the major issues.
we winding down, I vote, we winding down. And how you feel that can be solved and put, let's say, yes, we have our politics, we side in who we want, we have our right to side who we want, but let us put the Kalinago first.
That's right.
Let's put the Kalinago people first. Okay, we side in who we want, we are free, we have that right. But in whatever we do, we can come together as a people to push the Kalinago people. How can you sell that message to the people? You all are 2 councillors and we have a council elder. How can you strategize to jump that hurdle? And yes, there will always be politics, but then to transcend the boundary where you can say, okay, look, guys, we can support who you want, but then we have our community to build. We're going to make our community the #1 cassava capital, the capital of cassava in the world.
Right.
So sometimes we have to forget our politics, who's siding who, at least the partisan politics, and focus on the how are you going to sell that to the young people in particular, who is going to be there to take over. Gregs, because we have to wind down now.
You got to wind down. Well, you see, I mean, I can use myself as a typical example. You see me, in all my work, I work with everybody. I looking at the work and the bigger picture, and I'm not looking at the petty politics. So in my personal capacity, and when I was working with the government or the Ministry of Culture, I work with everybody. I didn't see the politics.
No.
I saw the work. I saw the importance of the work and getting together and take out the go-pit and washing the road. That is the most important thing.
Right.
You know, we have time. The politics will come and whatever story.
Yeah.
But
I'm really looking forward to the day when the Kalinago will take their rightful space in being leaders. For what you have done for Dominica in particular, I forget. I don't want to go further with the rest of the islands, but in terms of Dominica, the Europeans, with their might and power And the Kalinagos decide you will do what you want with the Negroes, but you cannot come close to us. And they could not, and they dare not. And the Kalinago survived that and helped the Maroons fight that. I mean, this is... I mean, what else can you ask from
I know,
the Kalinago
yeah.
people? So, final words on
Yeah.
the Cassava Festival as we go. We must
Oh
go now.
yes.
In 1 minute each.
Okay, okay. So we have and then after the cultural night, by 9:15 we have the ecstasy band who will be playing.
You look like you're excited about that. The way you have a
Ecstasy
smile,
band.
Ecstasy band.
And then you have DJ Repeat, which is Twisted Family, will entertain the crowd. And then we have and then of course the prize is we asking a contribution at the door. During the day, $15 and $5 for children, and then the night activity, the bands and the cultural night will be asking $20. And of course, we are a new council, and we're asking your contribution, and to all the people who we're inviting the people, the Dominican, and then visitors to visit us at the Carina Cultural Village and contribute. Well, we need finance, and we need help.
What's the date of? Once again, give us the date. Everything.
The date is on the 9th of August.
9th
It's
of
part
August.
of World Indigenous Day, and so we're inviting everybody who can come to support my first initiative, the council, Kalinago Mayok Festival, which will be historic. And of course, if you like to contact me, the chief number is 615-313-81, and then if you have to contact the clerk, her number is 25295-4112, and my number, Kalinago Cultural Queen, 245-8746.
Okay, Peter, quickly in 30 seconds.
Yours.
Just encourage.
Yeah. Well, what I would like to say, I would like to encourage the rest of the Kalinago people and the rest of Dominica on a whole to participate within the Kalinago territory, so we can have this event successfully.
Pas de problème, Osla, no ay. Vite, pas
Yes,
possible.
encourage everybody to support the festival and visit the territory and basically make a contribution to make the day a very successful and fruitful day and memorable day for the Kalinago people and for the rest of Dominica.
Well, what we can say from Creole Heartbeat is we are there for you, the Kalinago people, and we are there 100% to support whatever you have. And I think from today we're going to delve into doing special work with you to get your stuff and to get your events and to get whatever you're doing. So we're going to be working close to the council. So we say it live on DBS Radio. Creole Heartbeat is going to be working close with the Kalinago Council to get the information out and to help get the Kalinago people as the front runners, man, for the resilience.
Yeah.
We are now talking about resilience. And the Kalinago people are the epitome of resilience. This was another Creole Heartbeat program. We had the Kalinago people in the house, the first people, the indigenous people. We need them on the World Creole Music Festival, Marva. Let's make sure that happens. We need some Kalinago dancing to the world.
Yeah.
Okay, and until we meet again next week on another Creole Heartbeat program, I'm Prince Wadix. May God bless you and may God bless Dominica.
Thank you, Ayahora.
Apprecier ça yo ka fait ko yo a pa mi